Now, to enjoy rugby league, you don't just have to be a rugby league fan, you can enjoy other sports. Now, here's an example of Stuart Pearce, who is obviously a footballer, or was a footballer. He was talking at the Rob Burrows Gala dinner. Let's see what he had to say.
Tony Smith come and presented on the footballing pro licence. I was working at the FA at the time as the England under-21 manager, and I'd done my pro licence, so I used to put myself forward to look at any speakers that I'd never heard that come through the door, and Tony Smith's name was down, a rugby league coach, an Australian. At the time he was a Warrington Wolves manager, and I thought I'd be interested to go and listen to him. My preconceived ideas of what he's like as a manager and were blown out of the water in the first couple of minutes of sitting and
straight away, it's fantastic that he's open-minded. He's clearly open-minded. Now, you can learn a lot from other sports, as you can see from this channel. My refereeing over the last 3-4 weeks is changing because of watching other sports. Rugby league, rugby union, Aussie rules even now. So you can get stuff to improve your game from other sports, and that's great to see that he's open-minded about doing that.
And listening to Tony, he was well thought out. He talked about the process of the game rather than the result on a Saturday, and he seemed a really intelligent man. And I thought, you know what, I want to get to know this fella and probably get to know a bit about his sport. So I went up to Warrington, watched training, watched the games, and a friendship developed between me and Tony. We're good friends now, we speak every week. Tony's been in to watch me work with the England set-up. He's been to West Ham a year or so ago. I asked him to come in and track me for 4 days and give me feedback about how I'm working, because I value his opinion.
That's cool, that's great. I don't even think it's just about being a sportsman. I think it's about just generally your life. You should always be trying to better yourself. You should always be trying to do better in what you do. I'm a football coach. I want to always be a better football coach. I'm a dog walker. I want to be a better dog walker. I'm now a YouTuber. I want to be a better YouTuber. So you learn from other people through all different backgrounds. You can learn from people. And how cool is it that Stuart Pearce, is wanting to do that?
And I got hooked on Warrington and the family of supporters that are Warrington Wolves, and I just love the sport.
Did you hear
now.
that? Family.
I travel up. I went to the Saints game. It's probably about a 9-hour round trip for me from North London on a Friday or a Thursday to get up the M6 to watch the game, to turn round and come back again after the game. But it's worth it. It's a shame that the south of England don't know as much about the game as certainly the M62 corridor does.
This is another point. Now, I've watched rugby union, watched rugby league, and I'm enjoying both. But it's a lot harder for me, who is right down south, near Southampton, that it's not easy for me to experience rugby league, even though I'm really enjoying it. If you're going to watch games, it's all the way up north. You get the odd one in London, but it's mainly up north. And that's not easy, and it's not practical. So it is such a shame that north-south divide has got such an impact in rugby league.
My favourite players over the time that I've watched rugby league, Matt King, the Australian boy, used to play on the wing for us. Lee Breers, I used to love watching Breersy play for us, and at the moment Darryl Clark, I just think he's been absolutely sensational. But I've got a healthy respect for everyone who plays in the league. I watch not just Warrington games, but if other games are on telly, just to see what everyone else is doing. And obviously, with the World Cup coming up as well, not too long away, we'll be supporting them. It needs exposure to sell the product, because it's a brilliant product. I've got to say, the sport is fantastic. Every part of the sport, there's nothing about the sport, the skill, the pace, the camaraderie between the teams, by the way. And something like tonight, with Rob, You know, people from all sports are sat in that room down there because of the sport, and more importantly, obviously, Rob and what he's given his life to the sport as well. So it really is a sport that sort of deserves more profile. The fact of Toronto coming in, obviously Catalan from outside it as well, just adds to profile to the sport. And the more profile it gets, the more people will watch it. And as soon as you watch it, you'll get hooked like I did.
What's happened with me? I am absolutely loving watching rugby league. It's easy to follow. It's not as complicated as Union, and that's got pros and cons. We don't need to start a war, but it's a fantastic sport. And like he said, it needs the exposure. And I think obviously National Rugby League over in Australia is probably bigger. I think it's a higher standard. But I think this talk about exposure comes down to a lot of different other sports, and actually female sports as well. There's a lot of sports that really could do with more exposure, and exposure on normal TV like BBC and things like that, and ITV, the non-cable channels. That's what it needs, because there are such great sports and people just don't even know about them half the time. You know, before going into all this, when I think of rugby, I probably thought of rugby union. That's probably what we were really taught in school. So I didn't know there was a difference I didn't know what rugby league was. These are the things that need the exposure. Therefore, then they get the money into them that allows it to grow. Exactly the same what's happened with football. You know, there's a lot of money in it, and now it's global. And that's clearly what rugby league needs, and obviously other sports as well.
I think it'd be a fantastic Super League once again this year. Saints were dominant last year. Salford surprised a few teams. Wigan punched under their weight, but I think everyone, you know, is in with a shouting chance this year, and I think it'd be a fantastic season. To be fair, we've started the season very strongly, but as always, it's always our year at Warrington, and we have to manage expectation. But I think it'd be a fantastic Super League once again this year. Warrington St Helens game last night was sensational. It was a great product for certainly Super League. You know, Super League is trying its damnedest to selling the product, and if you get more games like that, then it sells itself. It's such a tough season. You don't need form now, you need form probably in about 6 months' time. As you see, there's a lot of good teams. Of course it's our year. Come on now.
It's great. I think it's great to have, like I said, someone who is known in football, known as a football player and a manager and all that, to be talking about another sport. Sport should be like a global umbrella. There's no reason why you shouldn't follow one sport and then follow the other and another and another. Follow what you enjoy. Find what you enjoy. Don't care what other people say. Look, I play lawn bowls, which is an old person sport, and I love it. I get people taking the mick, but I don't care. I love it. Do what you love. And this almost sums it up. He's got involved with rugby league, and now he loves it and he's hooked. So there's the story for today. Find a new sport. See if you enjoy it. If you do, follow it. I hope you enjoyed, guys. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you join the Discord as well. If you want any extra content that I can't put onto YouTube because of copyright, then you got to buy me a coffee. If you do that, you get access to all the extra content as well, but not forcing anyone for that. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time.